everyone.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm Jeff.
I'm Jason.
And guess what we do?
We talk a lot.
Talk way
gear,
too much.
About gear.
Right, once in a while we record ourselves when we do it. And that's what we're going to do today, because we're going to talk about things for holiday shopping, but we're not going to get into the specifics of what brand or what anything you
we're not telling you what to buy.
Right? But just a little bit about, if you're buying a new guitar, whether you be a beginner or an experienced guitar player, what you might want to look for. A lot of people are buying things online.
Yes, yeah.
So before we get into the physics of the guitar, I just wanted to bring out my personal opinion and see if you agree with it.
Well, what's that?
So when I used to give lessons, one of the big things that I used to run into all the time is that you get a parent or uncle, whatever, somebody comes in, they've got a kid and they're like, oh, we got to get them an acoustic because they got to build up their finger strength and things like that.
Gotcha.
That's a very, very common statement. For me, I always felt as if my job as a guitar teacher was not to make a virtuoso student, but instead to make sure that everything I do is working towards the goal that a year from now they are playing still.
Oh, to keep them wanting playing.
Yes,
right,
exactly.
Right, gotcha.
Because Fender just announced in the past year that they're aware of 16 million new guitar players in the United States alone. In 1 year, we picked up 16
It's a city.
million. Oh yeah.
That's just
That's 2 LAs.
That's 2 LAs.
Right? So.
Oh yeah, it's a state. Oh, it's a state. It's just like a middle America state.
Oh, dude, I think like what Ohio's like 8 million people.
Oh, geez. Okay, it's like
right. So it's a lot of people who picked up, and over COVID and stuff like that, everybody did pick up things like that. But if 6 months or a year from now, none of them are playing, I don't think that's very good.
It's a bummer. Yeah.
Right. I think. So I always took it as yes, you're going to have the world only has so many Yngwies that pop out, right? Everybody doesn't have to be a virtuoso, but if everybody can have fun with music, and so
it's what it's all about. It's about having fun, enjoying yourself.
Right.
Because if you ain't enjoying it, stop.
Right.
That's
so before we get into things to look at, number one, my opinion, and I don't know if you agree, but my opinion is your goal is to keep them playing. So if they listen to a metal, get them a metal guitar. If they listen to classical, get them whatever their dream emotion is that's driving to pick up that instrument, get that, right?
Yeah.
Second off, there is a statement which I heard somebody once make, which is by quality, it only hurts once.
Yes, that's right.
And there is some truth to, you can get a starter pack for a kid, and that's great, but usually the intonation's bad, the fret's bad. There's often a lot of... A starter guitar from when we were kids compared to a starter guitar today is vastly different.
Yeah, starter guitars today now are so much better.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen $200 starter guitars today that are better than the $1,000 Strat when I was...
exactly, yeah. Because, with this consistency of CNC and things like that, it's consistent and it's tight. Like, what was one of the funniest things that it just blew me away that they allowed it in the 70s Strats, mid-70s, mid to late 70s, you could take a nickel or a quarter and put it down the side of the neck slot.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was like such low quality control. Now with the CNC stuff, a starter guitar, like you said, $200 guitar is tight. Everything's tight. It's there, it's like...
I had a friend who worked at Fender who was telling me that, remember like in the 90s when they first opened up the Mexican Fender setup?
Yeah.
Right, that the jigs that they were using for the American-made guitars, because they had warped and gotten used, they were actually incapable of making a guitar that would fully intonate at that point in time.
Oh, God.
So the Mexican-made Fenders for 5-10 years until they finally fixed it, were actually a better guitar in some regards, as far as like being able to do that.
Right,
But again, buying quality, it only hurts once, right? Because if you go out and buy a cheap guitar, you can't sell it for much.
True.
If you go out and buy an expensive guitar, right, guess what? You have a resale value, right?
It's true.
And the true cost of anything is the price, the difference of what you paid for it and what you sold it for.
True.
If I buy $1,000 guitars,
exactly.
Right? If I, it's like I can buy a cheap guitar and I end up giving it away or putting it in my closet and I've just lost $250.
Right.
Versus I could buy a $1,200 guitar and maybe I get $900 for it and I spent the same $200, but I got a guitar that was 5 times better.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I see what you're saying. Your losses are probably about the same, but you've experienced something that was much better. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you might be involved with that. there's also the thing of, I always say this is, because I do agree with that. It only hurts once. And I like, when I first met him, when I first met Jeff at school, like I was playing just like a solid state amp and I had a bunch of pedals to get any kind of gain and tone I wanted, and it was just a noise. I mean, as you kick them on, you always make fun, because as I would go through and kick on the pedals, it just, the shh, just got, the hiss got louder and louder as I kicked them on. But when I met him, he just graduated, you know, we both just got out of high school, and his parents smartly bought him a Mesa Boogie Mark III and a Randy Rhoads Flying V Jackson.
So like, Mesa's still right there.
Yeah.
So that Randy Rhoads would still be here. That would still be got stolen.
That's right. But so like that's what I call a life rig in a sense. You know, like you had that, if you still had that guitar now, there's no reason why you couldn't play it. You could play every concert. You could play Forum. You could play. I mean, that is a rig.
Yes.
You're done.
Yes.
Like you're done in that sense. So there is something to be said about that. But you were already established that you were going to be a guitar player at that point. So there is the thing is like, when do you go for the upgrade? You know, I guess it has to come determined of if your student's taking lessons and the teacher's telling the kid's parents that he's doing great, then maybe you throw down and go, because there is the thing about a better the guitar, the more inspired and you'd want to play it more because it's a better guitar. Like, because a bad guitar can really make you not want to play it.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, so there's something about that. That is
so,
you know.
So what we're basically saying in the two big first points is, number one, probably get a guitar and an instrument that you would be interested in, and it kind of supports both thoughts, right?
No, exactly. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like if you want to play acoustic, get an acoustic. If you want to play electric, play an electric.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if the kid's goal is, don't buy him a classical guitar because you think it's easier to play if he wants to play Metallica.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or don't buy him a steel string guitar because you're trying to build up the hand strength. It's like, well, if they give up in 3 weeks, well, you
fail.
What hand strength have you dealt with, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's my opinion, and it seems like you.
Yeah, I agree. It's like you have to the instrument should fit what the person's desire is, and that is a large part, because you want to keep that inspiration. And we know the stories of the guys like, oh man, yeah, I mean, all I had was this crappy, old 50s, nylon string, whatever, falling apart guitar, and that's all I learned on. It's like, well, you obviously had the motivation to not care enough. You wanted to be because there are levels of people's desires to be guitar players that you'll push through that terrible guitar.
Absolutely.
But in this day and age nowadays, when there's so much information, we're recording this on an iPhone. I mean, you couldn't do that 30, 40, 20. You couldn't do that 10 years ago probably, or 15, 20 years ago, whatever. It's 20 years ago.
There's so many ways to learn how to be a guitar player, and you see so many people online. And I'm going to go into the other thing, which is, don't be discouraged. Don't feel like you need to be a virtuoso.
Well, right. There's that too.
Right.
Which in turn can go with the guitar thing too. Do you, if you're sucking on the guitar, but you want to do this, but you hate your guitar, a better guitar will maybe get you inspired, but don't expect yourself to be a virtuoso. That's not. Don't make that a self goal, because that's just.
Well, it's
trust me, I've lived it. I mean, we both have. I mean,
try and be as good as you want to be, but also realize that some of the hit songs in the world
don't have that.
Just a D chord.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Right, the best solos.
What was it? Danny used to always say, it's like country music, 3 chords and the truth.
Yeah, 3 chords and the truth. There you go. Yeah,
that's it. That's all you got,
man. Yeah.
Right. So have fun with it. It is supposed to be fun, and right now it is so easy to learn how to be a guitar player.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get a guitar that's affordable, that's pretty decent. Although, if you're really serious about it, maybe spend some money and get it and a decent amp to go with it.
True.
Right. And affordable, decent amps are a thing these days. So that's achievable.
There's good stuff that's not expensive.
Right. But so now you've purchased a guitar. Mm-hmm. So maybe a guitar has arrived for you as a gift, right, or whatever.
Showed up and
what are some things that you would suggest? So something came mail order as a gift. Your grandmother got it for you,
right?
Or you ordered it yourself. Mm-hmm. What is the first thing you would look for to just kind of like, I've got this new thing. Right. I'm super excited. Right? Is this a good one? Because they could have sent me any one of 100, and right? Is this box this one that I should look at?
Right. Generally, when dealing with important instruments.
Generally.
That's
sorry.
When dealing with some import stuff, the first things I always want to look for on a new instrument. Now, a lot of times if it's been shipped, something you ordered, you might want to just go get it set up. You're probably a lot of times, because a lot of times being shipped, it's either been on a truck or in the air, and they don't always put those in the temperature-controlled, pressurized cabins.
Or on a boat, right?
It's or on a boat. Yeah, if it's an import, exactly. No, it could become over sitting on a boat for months, for Christ's sake. So the things that, first off, besides going out and get it set up, grab it and run your hand along the edge. Because, I mean, frets, you get those sharp frets. Because a lot of times when guitars are made, especially if it's high production, the woods will dry out after they're made. And, you know, metal doesn't shrink. Wood shrinks around the frets, and then fret ends can sometimes stick out. So you get a sharp end. So that's something, you know, it's always a sort of like, ooh, you know, I should get this taken care of, and or is this guitar worth it, you know? But I say get them set up out of the box because, especially stuff that's traveled, is the neck adjusting. You know, you can sight down the neck, use the string as a straight edge because the string is under tension, so it's straight, and look at the neck if it's bowed or if it's under bowed, if it's this way or if it's over bowed that way. Those are things to kind of look for right off the bat. I mean, that's kind of right off the bat's the thing. Action high, neck bowed, fret ends.
Yeah, I think another thing.
And nut height too. At the nut, yeah. I would say nut height, yeah, because that is something you get a lot on. Actually, and it's not just inexpensive guitars, because even, I mean, I don't want to call it out, even Gibson does that sometimes. There's a lot of manufacturers that get nervous.
Rather nicely about Gibson many a time.
Yes, I mean, I play Gibsons, but...
You kind of like poking the bear there.
Well, I know, but I mean, there's one thing that, and a lot of companies do this, I feel is that they're a little scared on their nut height adjustment. They're leaving the nut height too high, because, I mean, you can take any guitar you own and tune it, and then hit that F. Right there, on that low string, the first fret, and see if it's in tune. It's probably not. It's probably sharp. And that's usually because the nut is set too high to where when you're pulling that, and if that break angle is so hard off the nut that it's throwing the nut really sharp.
So I took I've got friends at Taylor, and Taylor's awesome. You can go to the store, to the shop, just show up at like 1 in the afternoon, and they always do a tour.
Oh, right. Yeah, the Taylor tour is in the tour.
One of the things they do, right, which is really, really cool, is they actually cut their nuts on the CNC machine. Right, so they're always the same.
If they know the fret height,
yep,
they can cut the nut consistently. Yeah.
Right, so some people do it with a file, and some people do it with their
I'm old school. I use a file. I have to do them all by hand. So when I make a nut,
you are a nut. Right. So
don't mess with my bones, man. No.
You're bony nut. Right. So, anyways, so when people are looking at their guitars, right? So frets are a good thing.
Just right off the bat, those are playability things. I mean, that's the thing that's going to inspire you. If your nut's uncomfortable, it's really high action, you're forcing to make an open chord, you know, C or G. You're sliding around, ooh, it's sharp. You know, the net that's buzzing because the neck's backbowed, or it's really high action because the neck's underbowed. Those are things that are going to just turn you off right away.
Yeah, I personally, in my many years of playing guitar, have now gotten to the point where I don't like heavy guitars. Some people like heavy guitars because they think they sound one way,
and they have a tone because they're usually dense. I mean, it's a lot of mass.
Different set of harmonics and stuff like that.
Set of harmonics for sure.
But I do find that if you are sitting around, you know, you're trying to stand and play and be fun and cool and so that way you're, you know, if the weight of the guitar is sitting there. I mean, of course we're old, so we may not have said that when we were 15.
My shoulder kills me. I mean, my Les Paul it's light. But it's still pushing on 10 pounds, like 9 something, I think. 20 minutes, it hurts. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'm not. Well, when I was a kid, so both my brother and I started playing guitar around the same time. Jackie. Right? And I had gotten a PVT 15. I was like 12 or 13, something like that.
PV.
Right, it was a great guitar.
Oak, dude. It's made of oak.
Oh, great freaking guitar. Right? I mean, shorter scale, but I was.
But but they're all made of oak.
All right. And then I ended up putting Gibson pickups in it, like PAs.
Oh, PA.
I bought them out of a friend of mine's guitar from school.
Like T-tops or something, or
they were
or pad numbers maybe 60s.
It was late 60s, early 70s. They weren't like the pressers.
T-tops. T-tops. Yeah, T-tops.
Yeah. Right. It was out at 335.
Yeah.
Right. Remember the red 335?
I totally remember 100%. Yeah,
so and then I got Kahler. Right. So my little tiny PV was so tricked out. It was not funny. Right. Anyways, so I digress. The big thing is so I had that guitar and it was really great. My brother went and bought a Les Paul copy by a company called Lotus at the time.
Lotus. Yeah. I think that's what I feature right now.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, I've seen many of those. I've worked on many of those.
It looked fucking great.
It's Japanese, 70s Japanese, mid 70s,
oh,
late 70s
Japanese.
Japanese.
It looked great. It was like oh my god, he got less.
Set neck?
Paul. No, his was
both on?
I think it was both. Yeah.
Both.
Right. But you could hold it to the side, and you could see the layers of plywood.
It's a plywood. Yeah.
Right? That thing weighed like 15 pounds. Right. Even as a kid,
there's as much glue as there is wood.
Oh, dude. I'd put that thing on, and within 3 to 5 minutes, my hand would start tingling, and it would be all numb.
Pinching nerves. And
stuff. Yeah, I was pinching nerves, and stuff. I just hated that guitar, right? And you know, now I love Les Pauls, right?
Yeah. But these are lighter though.
I know, but my point is that became such a discouragement that even though
I see what you're saying.
Right, I could steal my brother's guitar all the time. Right. I just didn't. I was it was dead to me. It was like you right? And that's what you don't want to get when you get a guitar. Right, you don't want to get the guitar you don't want because somebody told you have to get an acoustic.
Yeah,
you don't want a guitar you don't want because it plays bad or doesn't do the sound you're looking for. Right, you don't want to get into a situation. Right, you want everything to be set you up for success. Which
that's it. You nailed it. Yeah, because I mean, you want to be inspired. You want to play.
Yes,
you want to play. So don't settle for what you don't want, because there's too much gear in this world and too many manufacturers and things made to where you can get what you want at a price that you're comfortable with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean 100%. Amps, including amps. I mean, you can get. There's lots.
Yeah.
There's lots. I think so. Yeah. I think so. I'm just saying. I think everybody should be able to play the gear they want, or the type of gear they want, at a level they want to spend and get what they want. You know what I mean? If you have $500, there's a guitar for you, and it's going to be there's good ones out there.
$250.
Yeah, there's good guitars to get silly.
Right.
Acoustics. Matter of fact, Yamaha, they make some amazing acoustics for the low price. Top? Yeah, they make some good stuff for acoustics. That is for sure. Sorry, I digress.
Yeah. Well, that whole reverb in a guitar thing with Yamaha's.
I don't know about that. I've seen things on that. I've never messed with it though. Is it you?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
From my old company, all the ideas.
Oh, the Woodworks, all that.
No, before that. Right, it was something. It used to be called Crab.
Oh.
Right, and it was like because it would crawl in your guitar and give you reverbs and stuff like that.
I didn't know about that. You had to tell me about that. I didn't know about this. Man, it's all cold. I've known this guy 30 years, didn't know him tell me shit.
Right. But I still feel like they haven't really shown off what it can do yet because I used to the prototype.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So, but anyways,
actually, you realize I've known you 35 years. It's been 35 years. 18. That's 35 years.
Back then you used to talk about us like on a rocking chairs and porch and like an old dog. Right. That's come around. We're a little closer than we are further away. Right? So anyways, so when it comes to guitars, so most guitars today are made by a CNC machine. C machine, it's computer cutter, router, right? So pretty much the physical shape of it's going to be the same from one to the next, whether it's made in America, Mexico, Indonesia, Japan, China. Yep. The quality of the woods will change from one place to the next, which is because if they're trying to cut down on expense and stuff like that.
Of course, and there's and substitutions too. You get, instead of mahogany, there's lots of sapelli, which is still in the mahogany family. It still sounds great. It's a great wood. It's fine, but you'll see.
There's a lot of substitutions, right, for similar type woods.
And the roasting.
Oh,
the roasted maple thing's a big thing too.
Yeah, well,
I like that though.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
I'm surprised. Right?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. At first, I was like, "Ooh, what'd you do?" Right?
No, I'm okay with it.
What he's talking about is that sometimes, especially like in the lower line Gibsons.
Yeah, Gibson.
Right. That's right. This is standard, so it's actually rosewood. But because rosewood is starting to become more endangered,
expensive.
What they use is maple, but then they roast it, which gives it a dark color.
Yeah.
Right.
And it really dries it out too. It makes it a lot more open.
Yeah, it
so
makes it a bit more. Well, and it's not as mid forward as most maple necks are, right? Which is really cool. So I think it's a pretty brilliant thing. The other thing people do, which is also fun, which is we're digressing from our entire point.
Well, but not really though, because it puts it on, like you said, the lower end Gibson stuff, so you can get that to be able to afford a guitar you want. Yeah. So.
Well, like they have the Les Paul now that doesn't have binding, but it has the painted binding on it.
Oh, right.
It's like $1,200 or something.
Right. It's like for Gibson, it's
a great guitar.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, exactly.
Great guitar, right?
Versus the $3, $4, $5 for their VOS or $6 for their VOS lines or something like that. So yeah.
Yes, right. But things that you should look for is, of course, the guitar itself is going to be pretty much physically okay. If you get it out of the box, you don't have fretting issues, right? You don't have loose frets. You don't have slicey edges on the end of them. Your nut isn't too tall. But all those things I just said, you can go to a tech.
Yeah, they'll get taken care of. Yeah,
hey, can you spend a little bit of money and get a nice little tweak, and it's all good.
That's why I say if you ordered, I recommend getting it set up if you've had something shipped, because shipped guitars, it's not like even Sweetwater. Even Sweetwater sets their guitars up before they send them.
Yeah, but they go through
it's going in. Your temperature changes will make things bow. That's all. Nothing major at that point. It's just usually the next bowing.
Yeah, usually if the neck, at that point it's a neck bowing
neck
issue,
adjustment,
right? Like a quick tweak and you're done. Not so much it needs filed or glued.
No, not too much. Yeah, not too much.
I do love though that like them Sweetwater and some of the other sites are starting to pop up with photos of the guitar.
The actual one.
The actual one. It's like that little knot I see in the wood, that I'm getting that.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I think that's cool, right?
When I buy wood for guitars, there's when you do tops, you're actually buying the top that you see
the actual one, right?
You get that top.
I think that's so cool, right? Not all necessary for all guitars, but
it can be pretty
cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
But the other thing you should look into is, you can always expand your electronics. Right? So that is a great place. Like, if the guitar is physically good, the neck's physically good. I tend to like guitars that acoustically I feel akin with.
Yeah, that you play them acoustically before plugging them. It's definitely a thing I would recommend if you get a chance to play your guitar. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I tend to like ones that are lighter and a little bit louder, a little more chimey. Others will go the other direction, but that's my preference.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, if you pick up a custom or any kind of like dense guitar, it'll have a tone that's completely opposite of that open ringing, but you're kind of like, ooh, it's got a tightness to it, and you're like, well, I want to plug this in and hear it. So that's kind of I gotcha.
Which in another episode, maybe we should try and figure out how to show people.
I know we got to figure that out. We're gonna have to start doing some sound stuff so you can hear stuff. I think we're getting to that point. Yeah.
Right. But the other thing is so usually the first thing you're gonna want to change is often tuners are bad.
Oh, upgrades. Yeah, doing upgrades. Sure, yeah. On like an inexpensive guitar, there's things. Yeah, tuners help sometimes.
And
setups first.
Set up first.
Go get set up first, and then figure it out for sure.
Figure if there's any issues with the fretting work, because if the guitar is physically good and got good frets, you can always get all the electronics, right? That Les Paul, he gutted all the electronics.
That's true. I did.
Right?
Yes, I did. That's true. That's right.
And you cannot say that it came with bad electronics. He just made it better.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Right? But that's if you get something. Yeah, if you're not. Yeah, if you're buying something shouldn't have that stuff already, for sure. Yeah, because if you buy like a Gibson or like a PRS or a Music, if you're going to spend the money, you're done. You should be done. You should be done. In a sense, you should be. I say should, not that you are. But
guitar players are always on this tongue quest.
I know, but you know what I mean.
All kinds of things you should be doing.
Well, I know,
you're going to find out. No,
but the reality is though, if you get like a nice PRS, those pickups in it are going to be better than something in a $250 Epiphone or something like that.
And if you are a new guitar player, join the club. You're going to probably get too many guitars over your lifespan. Unless the only person the only person that I love the story of it is the Edge, right? From YouTube,
yeah.
Right. So he goes into the studio, right, and they record the first tracks, and they're like, "Oh, this is great." And the producer looks at him, and he's like, "Okay, let's do an overdub with a different guitar." Right? And he's, "What do you mean a different guitar?"
Oh,
right. I only have one.
What do you mean? It's my guitar. Like another guitar. Yeah.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I've met some guitar players like that. There, like Joey Tafoya, he had one main. That was it. It was a guitar.
Sure.
I did a recording for Quiet Riot, like in the '90s.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Wow. Carlos had one guitar. He shows up to the gig, and the rental house they had sent a backup guitar.
Oh, okay,
right?
I got you.
Yeah. But he only had one guitar. Right, that was his guitar. And right.
Sometimes all you need. I mean, really.
I if you said we're doing a coffee house gig in 20 minutes and they were going to play 3 songs, I'd probably bring it back up. Right. I am so wrong. Right. So as you guys go on to your tone quest, please enjoy the holidays and hopefully you get a good guitar that you're going to like. If you do. Congratulations, right? And if you're new to the team, then hopefully you can have way too many guitars as we do as well, and you'll be. I do apologize because you're now on what we call the Tone Quest, and
the Tone Quest,
right? It's you'd be better off looking for a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow.
I have
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a friend and a customer. He's a friend of mine though. But we've been on a Tone Quest now for it's been about a year. You know the wiring thing I showed you where it had the bass roll off.
Yeah. That was so cool.
That was Marcos. Yeah. So we've been through this.
Was it just changing a cap for a resistor?
Well, different cap, a different measurement of cap, and the way it's also the way you wire it in. It's supposed to wire it like really quick volume, tone, volume. The audio is imagine it like water's passing through, and then a tone would be a little offset, and as you turn that, would imagine changing the flow of the water. Kind of way to look at it, but as opposed to that, when you do the bass roll off, it's actually running through the thing. It's actually wired through the actual, and the cap is set not to do a tone thing, the same type of bass roll. I don't know enough about the technical electronics of it. It's supposed to be capacitor working as a tone roll, a high end roll off. It's rolling as a bass roll off.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it in the wiring.
That's okay.
They don't got that stuff. I know how it works. I know how it works when you wire it. I don't know this technical thing.
Right.
But so like we've been doing like bass roll off, and we have coil tap push. We went from push pulls to push pushes. We've been through. I can't even tell you how many different pickups. I've taken a 57. A Gibson 57, swapped out the pickup and put like a ceramic in it. You know, taking ceramics out, put Alnicos in it. Like on pickups that are wired for the other magnet. It's really interesting.
Yeah, you've actually slid the magnet out.
Yeah, you take them out, put a different magnet in it. And so if you have an Alnico and you put a ceramic in it, really reacts differently and vice versa. It's interesting. Really interesting. So the Tone Quest, man, yeah, that's no joke.
Yes. Well, and we just want to say, welcome to the journey.
It's forever. But it does, see, that's the thing is, it is a journey. It is, because it doesn't end.
No.
And because your tastes are going to change.
Yeah.
And you buy that brand new guitar, and you're in love with it, and a year later, you completely want a whole new thing. And it's not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's like, I heard Eddie Van Halen once talking about it. He's like, everybody said they're trying to get my tone. He goes, I don't even know what my tone is.
It's like, his last record, he's on a whole new sound. It doesn't matter.
It's like, it's a different song. I'm doing a different thing, a different amp, a different.
He's right.
It's like so.
Steve Vai's a great proponent of that.
Yeah.
Like he does lots of tonal, like sound on his stuff. Even though he has his main solo.
Oh yeah, he layers lots of different things, right?
Brian May,
he does a bunch of synth guitar and stuff, right? And Brian May was.
And he always had the in and out phase on his guitars. Always shifted the things. So. Yeah, it's always a Tone Quest. It's forever Tone Quest. Right. We should just do an entire series. It's called Tone Quest.
Well, maybe what we should do is you know that Strat that I have that has the Burns pickups in it.
Yes.
Maybe we should like do a little wiring listening thing.
That'd be cool. Right? Yeah, we'll do some stuff like that.
Well,
we're gonna have to do some
as we are coming up with ideas, and you're watching this, right? We hope that you subscribe. We hope that you go down and write some comments.
Yes.
Tell us what you like. Throw in your 2 cents, because we are not the knowledge base. We just have what we know.
Yeah, right? And if you have experiences with buying new guitars too, that's something you've experienced that maybe we didn't mention or talk about. But yeah, it's always an interesting journey.
Yes,
buying guitars. Let us know. I'd like to know what.
Well, it is. It's kind of the fun, right? Yeah. You know, the guitar itself can almost be its own hobby, even if you aren't a great player.
Yeah, hell, even if you don't want to play, if you just like the instruments and collect them, you got it. It's a whole hobby unto itself.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like stamp collecting.
Or building train sets. It's like
exactly. Right?
Yeah. So please keep up with that. But subscribe down below. Put any comments.
Click the bell. It'll remind you when we have new episodes up.
Right. Yeah. And of course, if you have any ideas for things you'd like to see us talk about,
please.
As we get into future episodes, I think we're going to plan on doing a little bit more audio examples of some things. Like for example, today we were talking about the like attenuators for power.
Yeah, we did this episode on power attenuation.
Right? So we might actually show you guys what it's like to drive your master volume on 10 and see what the heck that sounds like versus not. So if you got ideas, we'd love to hear them because we're more than happy to talk way too long about what little we happen to know, right? So love you all, right? I'm Jeff.
I'm Jason.
And we'll talk to you guys soon.
See ya.